It's been said that all truth passes through three stages, the first stage being denial, the second stage being violent opposition, and the third stage being widespread acceptance as common knowledge. Well, as you view this documentary, keep in mind that people watching will probably fall into one of those three categories. One group of people will absolutely deny that what they're seeing could possibly be true. The second group of people will be violently opposed to this kind of information being released, and they'll do everything that they can to discredit the messenger rather than pay attention to the message. And yet there will probably be a third group of people that will sit back in their easy chair and say, I'm not surprised, I knew it all along.
It's a beautiful day.
With this in mind, let's begin by playing a
day
little
for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor?
Conspiracy
Won't you please?
theory is what most people think. We've all been conditioned to associate the
Won't you
word theory
my
with the
neighbor?
word conspiracy, because after all,
My neighbor?
no conspiracies could possibly
Did you
be
see
true.
how
They're
many
all just
sticks I
theories,
brought
aren't they?
today?
Well, in the phrase conspiracy theory, there are
Look
two
carefully.
words. The first
You can
word,
see there are
conspiracy.
three.
The second
Three
word
sticks.
is the active word.
And each one of them
By
has a
definition,
hole
a theory
right in the
is
middle.
a supposition, an idea, a concept, a hypothesis.
I'll show you what's
Let
going
me
to
give you
fit
an
in that
example.
hole.
In
in my
theory,
pocket here.
if I purchase a raffle ticket, I could win a prize.
Looks like a Y.
Now, as long as I don't purchase a raffle
It's a bolt.
ticket, my win is theoretical.
Y-looking bolt.
But once you
And
purchase
here
a raffle
are
ticket,
three
the win is no longer
little
a theory.
nuts
It
that will
becomes
fit
a possibility.
on it too. I'll put it together and show you. There. There's one. Two. Three. Now, can you imagine what that might be for? That's really for a seat, something to sit on. Could you? Oh, that may be Mr. McFeely now. He's going to bring the rest
more
of
raffle
it.
tickets you purchase, the more
Hi, Mr.
possible
McFeely.
Delivery to you.
and
Speedy
eventually
delivery. I have an
Did
order
you find
here.
it?
Is this what you ordered?
That's
Such
exactly
is
it.
the case
I
with
think it'll fit.
theory.
Well,
As
gonna
long
go
as
right
there is
in
no
those
evidence,
sticks there.
Could I see how
is
it
a
Of
fits
course,
on?
of course. Come right in and we'll work it.
Just want to make sure it works.
See these pockets here?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that the sticks could fit in the pocket
Oh,
like
I
that.
see.
Since there are three sticks, there need to be three pockets. There
Well, there you go.
it is.
Why don't you try it?
All right. Feels like
Perfect.
riding a horse. You want to try it?
I'd like to.
All right.
All right.
There you
Let's
go.
see. Oh. But if you're a speedy delivery man, you can't sit very long. Oh, I
guess
almost
not.
forgot. I almost
What?
forgot. I have a delivery book here. I want you to sign for that delivery today already.
That's a clever suit.
Sign on the dotted
Once you
line.
have a piece of evidence, no matter how flimsy or circumstantial it may be,
Thank you. I have
it
a lot of
becomes
deliveries
a
today, so right
possibility.
now I'll just
and the
say
more
to you,
evidence that is
speedy delivery.
gathered,
Speedy
the more
delivery to you,
possible
Mr.
and
McFeely.
eventually
Thanks very much.
probable
You're welcome. See you
the
around the
conspiracy
neighborhood.
is.
All right.
Good day.
Bye.
You'll be looking at evidence in this documentary, and it will be up to you to decide if this is a conspiracy
There's the
theory
seat.
or indeed a
Here's
conspiracy.
the easel.
Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy
Here's
theories
the pad of paper.
concerning the attacks of September the 11th. Malicious lies that
imagine what
attempt
I'm
to
going
shift
to do?
the blame away from the terrorists themselves, away from the
I'm going to
guilty.
draw. I think I'll use crayons. Here's some. See the crayons I have? Here's some small ones here. And here's some larger ones. I'll try these. That's a good color. That one's yellow. Did you ever wonder how crayons were made?
Please be advised that the information you are about to view is overwhelmingly significant. We offer no conclusions, but simply present the evidence and let you, the viewing audience, draw your own conclusions. It is vital that we also mention that the footage you are about to view comes from many of the largest news agencies in the United States who covered the events which unfolded on September 11, 2001.
I'll do some more of this
Efforts
later,
were made
but
to
I'd like
contact
show
these
you
news
some
agencies
people
and obtain releases
making
for the
crayons.
footage to which we draw attention. However, most of our attempts were unsuccessful, as we were informed that no licenses would be granted. Our initial reaction was to pause and rethink our position on releasing this documentary.
There's the
But after
railroad
careful
tank
thought,
car, which
we could
carries the
not
hot
let this
wax.
information be kept from the American people, and indeed from the global community,
From the tank,
as it affects both
it's
national
poured
security
into a
and
kind
global
of
security,
big
respectfully.
This is a kind of powder that makes
Collapsing
the wax
the outermost
hard.
rings which encircle the Pentagon. In this picture, we ask,
And then after
do
that,
you see a crater
people put in
100
the
feet wide
pigment,
or 50
which
feet
is
wide?
like colored flour.
How about in this picture? Or
this
picture?
pigment is yellow.
It doesn't
so
appear
it's
that there
helping
was
to
any
make
crater
yellow
at all.
crayons.
They went on to say that it had ripped away the walls
Now, all
of the
that
5
hot
stories of the
wax
building,
and
collapsing the
hardener
outermost
and pigment
rings,
are mixed
which encircle the
together
Pentagon.
and drained into a pouring bucket.
There should be no question that the outer rings of the Pentagon have indeed collapsed. We've seen pictures from one angle, from
This
another
is a
angle,
mold
and
for
America
lots
has
of
seen
crayons.
these pictures.
Each
We all
little
assumed
hole
that that
will
was
be
the damage
filled with
that
the
was
colored
caused
wax.
by the 757 hitting the Pentagon. But shortly after the release of the article From Deception to
double
Revelation,
bucket.
we were sent some photographs that were taken apparently right after the event and before
And that
the outer
colored
walls
wax
had
is going down
collapsed.
into all those holes.
When examining these photographs, we can clearly see that the area in question had
little
not
later,
yet collapsed.
each one of
In
those
fact,
holes will
there is very
show a
little
crayon coming
evidence
The
of a
people
hole
wait for
big
about
enough
5
to
minutes
accommodate
for the
a
yellow wax to get
757.
hard. And then
The
they
hole that we
scrape
do
off
see
the top,
is approximately
which they'll melt
14
and
to
use
16
again.
feet across.
Now
Question:
watch the crayons
How
come
does a
into those crayon
757 fit
collectors.
into a 16-foot hole and leave no damage
are.
or wreckage on the outside of the Pentagon? These are questions that deserve serious scrutiny.
Look at all those yellow crayons.
Let's take a look at some of the photographs that were taken before the outer wall of the Pentagon collapsed. In this first photograph, we can see the firefighters pulling the hoses away from the fire truck. In the foreground, we can see wire spools that were left on the front lawn of the Pentagon. After all, this
Handfuls
section
of
of the
yellow
Pentagon
crayons.
was under renovation. We'll use these wire spools as reference points. Also, to the right of those wire spools and on the face of the Pentagon, we can see that some concrete facing has broken away. We'll also use this as a reference point as we examine these photographs. Now, to the left of that area where the
imagine
facing
what
has
this
broken off, we
machine
can
is for?
clearly see that the Pentagon has not yet collapsed. There are some flaming areas, and that area appears to be
Now,
the
those
only
things that go
section
around
where there is a
crayons?
hole approximately 14 to 16 feet.
Those are labels.
Question:
Yes. So
How
this
does a
is a machine that puts
757
labels
fit
on
into
the
a
crayons.
16-foot hole and leave no wreckage on the front of the building? We can also see that the roof of the building does show fatigue,
like
but
a
has
Ferris
not yet
wheel, isn't it?
collapsed. In this photograph, an astonished onlooker sees exactly what we're seeing. The Pentagon had not yet collapsed. And again,
Crayons
there
have
is
lots
no
of
sign of
rides.
any wreckage whatsoever. No tail, no fuselage, no wings, no wheels, no engines, no seats, no luggage, nothing on the outside of the Pentagon. Pentagon roof line is clearly visible, and again, it is under fatigue, but it had
People
not
take
yet
the crayons
collapsed.
to a collating machine
As we examine
where
this next
16
photograph, let's take a
different
good
colors
close
of
look at the
crayons
lower
are
left
put
corner.
together.
You'll see Engine 331 from the Metropolitan Washington Airport
at all those
Authority.
colors.
And we contacted the fire chief from this engine company. Chief
Beautiful.
Plower agreed to come on our radio show along with 2 of his firefighters. But 1 hour before airtime, they canceled. We were told that the 2 firefighters had been
Each one
placed
of
on
them
indefinite leave.
is mixed into a
When
little
we look
box.
at this photograph, we can see that the fire retardant foam is being sprayed on the front of the Pentagon.
So each one of those little boxes has 16 different color crayons in it.
Again, is this hole big enough to accommodate a 757? And where is the wreckage? In this photograph, we again see engine 331 and fire retardant foam being sprayed on the
More
front of the
colors.
Pentagon. Note
In
clearly,
more little
in the
boxes.
center of the photograph, we see the upper floors of the Pentagon, again, yet to collapse. But also notice that there does not appear to be any damage to these upper floors. Question: if the height of the Boeing 757 was 44 feet 6 inches, there should have been some point of impact in these upper floors, and yet when we look at these pictures, there doesn't appear to be any impact whatsoever in the area
Make
where the
up
tail
big
should have
boxes
hit.
of
And
crayons.
again, there is no wreckage visible
Many
on the
little
front of the
boxes
lawn.
are put together.
Now, while these photographs were
Big
being
box.
taken, videographers from several different networks were on the scene to capture the firefighters in action as they battled the blazes at the front of the Pentagon.
Jim Angle is joining us now from Washington. Jim, what can you tell us about that fire outside the Pentagon? Jim Angle, are you with us?
And
I
then
can
people
tell you
take
first
those boxes
that
to the
roads
stores
around the White House,
where other
the
people
streets
come
around
to
the
buy
White
them.
House were blocked seconds
So they
ago.
buy the crayons.
Members of the Uniform Division of the Secret Service ran out to intersections
People make
and started
crayons.
diverting traffic.
You
There
saw
are
the,
emergency
yellow
vehicles
crayons
on almost
being
every
made.
block around the White House.
Well, of
The
course,
road
they make
south
all
of the White House has
different
also been
colors
blocked.
and
as
all
you know,
different
the White House is
sizes
being
and
evacuated.
shapes.
Federal employees are standing
the
on the
ends of
street
these.
corners in and around the White
are
House,
different shapes, you
having
see?
left the building for fear of
And
another
sizes.
attack. As you come
think I'll
into
just
Washington from Virginia,
draw something
about
here.
2 miles from the Pentagon, you can see the smoke.
Do you like to draw
billowing
with
up from
crayons?
The building. Huge clouds of smoke. So much
I do.
so that commuters
But I'm not very good at it. But it doesn't matter. It's just the fun of doing it that's important. That's the way I usually draw a house. Have some windows. Have a window down here. Somebody to look for their mom or dad coming home from work. And a tree. There's a tree. What about a person over here? Some hair. Maybe I should use some different colors. Now, I wouldn't have made that if I'd just been thinking about it.